Okay, so we've gotten mostly all the features covered. I just want to use this last segment to cover some of the odds and ends, things that we haven't been able to quite get to. The first one I want to show you is just an overview of what students will see when they log in. So here's a student account, and they're going to click on their class. They are limited to these four things and ask a question. So I'm going to talk about what these are. Activities is if you send a response they need to respond to, that's going to fill in here. There's none here because there's none. I don't have any active responses, but that's where those will end up. And that's where students' landing pages. So anything you post, they're going to see it. Inquire is where they're going to see stuff that other students have asked or are working on, and specifically my questions. If a student asks a question, that's going to pop up here. I'll show that in a second. I've already covered that Ignite is where student journeys live. So if you have assigned a journey to a student, then that's where that's going to be. And then finally, the library is where their responses that they've done in the past are going to hang out. So they can always go back and review responses for things that you've assigned them in the past. If they ever need to go back and check. And then they can also see feedback. If it's got a little comment button there, they know that the teacher had responded. So it's nice to know where all that stuff is for if you ever need help having students navigate this. So the next thing that I want to talk about is actually to cover the specific details of what you can do with responses after students turn things in. And so I actually have a demo class here that I can work with to visualize some of this stuff. And when you sign up, you'll get a demo class too you can kind of play with, which is nice. So I'm going to open up this demo class, and I'm going to go to responses. I talked about this a bit before, but I didn't have responses to show you. So this will be a little more illustrating of what you can do with this. So, of course, your activity details we discussed before. This is your data, so you know which students responded got it. It was Anaya, Josh, and Natalie, and Sarah partially got it. I didn't have any didn't get it. Now we can talk about the daily review reel. So I had 3 students submit that I can look at basically a supercut of their responses by clicking this. And this is a fun thing just to show your class even. It, of course, cuts it in with these graphics, text, and a little bit of background music. You also have the option to edit this. So if you don't want the music in the background, you think it's distracting, you want to change the graphics, you can hit edit, and you can come in and turn that stuff off. You can remove or add other students to the playlist. So if I want Josh, Natalie, and Sarah to all be part of this, and then I want the graphics saved, it'll re-edit that cut together like this. And now we're going to have another student included that wasn't in it before, which is Josh. All right. You also have the option up here to share. So if you think this video is especially cool and you want to share it maybe with other teachers, or if you want to share it to parents at home, you can enter emails here, or you can just simply send this link, copy and paste it, or it is connected to Twitter if you want to set that up and just tweet it directly to your Twitter account. That's a pretty cool way to share stuff out that your class is working on. But there might be some privacy concerns there. So, you also have this option down here to share. So these are all the student individualized responses. The first thing you can do is play all, and this is just going to play through every student's response. And this is a 3-question response. So you're going to have, each student's going to have 3 questions to review. So you can forward and back through these and leaving comments as you go. And then you can also navigate between students by using these arrows to the left and right. And then I can look at all his responses, boom, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Now, let's say this kid, the response is super great. Maybe I want to share this with the parent. I can click up here where it says share, and I have the same share tools. They can get a link to this website to see their student's response. And so that's a really cool way to share out student work with parents. They can get a video. It's very visual. It's like they're getting a little insight exactly into what their students are doing. So if parents come to expect to get those responses, you can just hop right down here, hit the 3 dots, go to share response. If you ever have a student, maybe their response isn't appropriate or they said something that you don't really want to be on the feed, you can simply come in here and delete that out from here, or you can delete their responses entirely in that way. So those are just a little bit of the added functions that come with when you use this with a full class. Those sharing functions are especially cool. So just to kind of take the walls down out of your classroom and let people know what's going on. So that's Recap. Recap's really awesome, not just for general video recording, but also, I mean, you can do all sorts of assessments with this. Using the journeys, you can structure independent study and having students doing exploration tasks, stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do with it. So I'm excited to see many of you begin to use Recap in your classrooms and using that to facilitate discussions, but also some independent learning activities with your class. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.